Yes, sir.
Bakit hindi nyo sundin yung batas?
na proteksyon ang mga mamamayan. Kasabay ang pagpapahalaga sa karapatan ng mga legitimate gun owners, ito ang mga prinsipyo na gagabay sa ating usapin ngayon. At sisikapin nating balansihin ang mga prioridad ng ating bayan. Napapanahon na ang ating usapan ngayon dahil sa gun ban na naging epektibo ngayon, kahapon, January 12, 2025, at magtatagal hanggang June 11, 2025. Maraming nagsasabi na ang mga responsable at lehitimong gun owners lamang ang pinapahintulutang humawak at gumamit ng kanilang firearms sa panahong ito. Ngunit ang gun ban ay pinapawalang bisa lamang ang mga lumalabag sa batas, mga manliligalig at mga kriminal. Nais po natin na mabigyan liwanag ang mga issue na ito upang mabawasan ang election-related violence na dinaranas ng ating bansa. Bago po tayo magsimula ay nais kong magpasalamat sa ating mga kapwa mambabatas at sa ating mga resource persons sa inyong paglalaan ng oras para sa ating talakayan. Umaasa ako na tayo magkakaroon ng isang masusing deliberasyon. Maraming salamat po. And the next item of our agenda is the initial deliberation of the following measures amending Republic Act 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act. Ang una po naghain ng House Bill number 893 ay si Representative Michael Romero. So the chair would like to recognize Congressman Bong Tebes, our Deputy Majority Leader. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, for the House Bill number 893, entitled An Act Amending Republic Act number 10591, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act, to promote a higher standard of protection by Representative Romero, I move to adopt the explanatory note as a sportsmanship speech. So move, Mr. Chairman.
So there's a motion to adopt the explanatory note of House Bill number 893 as the sponsorship speech of the author of the House Bill number 893. Any second the motion? There's a second the motion. Any objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. The next House Bill number for our deliberation is House Bill number 9718, and in here we recognize Congressman Plato for the sponsorship speech. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I move that the explanatory note of my province mate, Congressman Brother Eddie Villanueva, be adopted as his explanatory speech. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
There's a motion to adopt the explanatory note of House Bill number 9718, authored by Brother Eddie Villanueva. Any second the motion?
Second motion, Mr. Chair.
There's second the motion by Senator Bonifacio Busita. Any objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. The next item or the next House Bill number is House Bill number 1141, authored by this representation. So I'll be turning over temporarily the chairmanship to Chairman Acop. Sir, can you preside temporarily as I deliver my sponsorship speech?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and you're recognized to deliver your sponsorship speech.
Ito ka na. Dito na ako. Sigurado ka. Okay. So, basahin ko na rin po, no? Ito ating explanatory note. Republic Act number 10591, also known as the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulation Act, recognizes the right of qualified private citizens to self-defense through the use of licensed firearms and the need to provide legal support to law enforcement agencies in their campaign against crime, stop proliferation of illegal firearms or weapons, and the illegal manufacture of firearms or weapons, ammunitions, and parts thereof. The intent of Republic Act 10591 is to account for and register firearms in accordance with the requirements of state laws and regulations. Included are provisions that regulate the manufacture, import, and export of firearms and its essential accessories. However, it appears that certain provisions of the statute were intentionally or unintentionally to too rigid and render the law unreasonably difficult for private citizens to own or use licensed firearms. The bill proposes rationalizing certain provisions of the existing laws so that the law-abiding individuals will not be unduly deprived of the right to legally own firearms and consequently to defend themselves, their loved ones, and their property. The measure seeks to amend the following provisions of the law. Letter A, the standards and requisites for the issuance of license to own and possess firearms. Letter B, yung pong carrying of firearms outside of residence or place of business. License to possess ammunition. Issuance of license to manufacture or deal in firearms and ammunition. Scope of license to manufacture firearms and ammunition. Letter F, registration of locally manufactured and imported firearms. And lastly, yung pong firearms for use in sports and competition. For these foregoing reasons, the immediate consideration and approval of this bill is earnestly urged. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I turn over the floor back to you as the chairman of this committee. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chairman Acop. And now we will be proceeding dito po sa ating pong agenda for today. So the next item of our agenda is any members who wanted to give comments on the bills, or we will be asking first all the resource persons who have been invited to give their comments on these bills that have been filed in this committee. So siguro unahin po natin ang DILG. So we Congressman Plato, you want to say something? Yes, sir. No, sir. We will be asking first the different resource persons to give their comments on the 3 bills that have been filed and under the deliberation of this committee. So after which, we can have some comments. You know. But the amendments, I think, will be forming a technical working group in order to be more, plansya po natin lahat yung mga ibang mga issue regarding these 3 bills. So, DILG, siguro kayo po muna. ASEC Joabili P. Racho, ano po ba kayo, Assistant Secretary? ASEC, no, sir?
Yes.
Sige. Yes,
Morning.
now you are
Good morning,
recognized,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, honorable members of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, colleagues from different government agencies and guests. This representation expresses its full support in conducting this public hearing and investigation in aid of legislation, as our department recognizes the need to ensure that responsible gun ownership should be strictly observed and to put an end to the proliferation of illegal firearms in the country. The DILG supports the mandate of the subject legislative measures. These bills seek to introduce a comprehensive and dynamic approach to RA 10591 to address the pressing demands of the modern society in order to promote a safe and violence-free environment to our citizens. Correspondingly, we will closely coordinate with the other national government agencies, such as the PNP, to obtain vital information and substantial pieces of evidence that will enable us to ascertain the truth in resolving the matters surrounding the senseless and unresolved killings. We are one with Congress in seeking for the truth because the department believes that violence has no place in our society. Mr. Chair, a copy of the department's detailed position paper will be submitted to the Honorable Committee. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, ASEC. So, we'll be proceeding to the next resource person from DND. Attorney Angelito C. Castillo, the Division Chief, External Affairs of the DND. You are now recognized. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the august members of this Committee on Public Order. Mr. Chair, the Department wishes to convey our full support for the proposed amendments of the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulations Act in order to rationalize the various provisions of the law. Rest assured that our stakeholder in the Defense Department, the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the government arsenal, being the key stakeholder for this proposed bill, is in full support thereto. And on that note, Mr. Chair, we will be coordinated with the Secretary for the submission of our joint position paper on the matter. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, salamat po, DND. So we have invited also the COMELEC. Napapanahon na po kasi dahil nga po ganba na kahapon. So tama, we have invited also the COMELEC. So we have here Attorney Nicole. Kay James, you are recognized and give your position on this matter. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, and everyone present here po, good morning. So, the COMELEC fully defers po to the wisdom of the Honorable Committee and the Congress in amending the Comprehensive Firearms Law. Rest assured that the COMELEC will faithfully fulfill its constitutional mandate of administering and enforcing election laws and other election-related laws. On matters po concerning election gun ban, subject of amendments under Section 9 of House Bill number 11141, introduced by Your Honor, Honorable Dan Fernandez. We already drafted our initial position paper po, but it's still for review by the Commissioner in charge of the COMELEC Gun Ban and Security Concerns Committee. And after which po, it will be submitted pa po to the COMELEC and Bank for its approval. So may I, with the kind indulgence po of this Honorable Committee, may I respectfully request po that we be given more time po to submit our official position paper.
Okay, so we will be waiting, because in a while we will be creating a technical working group on this matter. So for the meantime, we'll be asking you to expedite, yung inyo pong comments by the NBank on this matter, and also to DND and DILG to submit to us your position paper. A while ago, we heard that you are in full support. But, of course, you have to ask your bosses, no? Baka mamaya, hindi naman sila nakasuporta dito. So, kalintik-lintik tayo dyan. So, we'll be asking you to submit your position paper on this matter. Ask your bosses. Okay. So, thank you, COMELEC. So, we'll be proceeding to the next resource person po natin, ang PNP. PNP, you are now recognized. General Francisca? Si Dilad.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
To the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, the Honorable Representative Dan S. Fernandez, sir. To the Honorable Senior Vice Chair, Congressman Romeo Acop, sir. Honorable Jose Bong Teves Jr., sir. Honorable Salvador Prieto, sir. And Honorable Bonifacio Bosita. The head of the PNP delegation, my boss, Police Major General Leo Francisco, sir. Fellow workers in the government, the stakeholders in the firearm industry, the shooting community, other guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. At the outset, the PNP is grateful for this initiative to make another amendment to Republic Act number 10591 in order to address various pressing issues and concerns related to the regulation of firearms and ammunition. This amendment will also ensure that the law remains responsive to the current and future needs of licensed citizens as well as the industry. The PNP greatly appreciates the effort of the House of the Representatives in coming up with 3 proposed bills, namely House Bill number 893, an act amending Republic Act 10591, in order to promote a higher standard of protection, increasing its penalties and sanctions, and for other purposes. House Bill number 9718, an act amending Republic Act 10591, Section 9, Paragraph 5, known as Comprehensive Law on Firearms and Ammunition, limiting the number of registered firearms and ammunitions and providing penalties for violations thereof, and House Bill number 11141, an act amending certain sections of Republic Act number 10591. Noting the need to facilitate the processing of licenses and permits, including legitimate trade, ensuring public safety and security should still be the utmost priority to consider, making sure that this is not compromised. Upon reviewing the said House bills, the PNP would like to express reservations regarding certain provisions, especially on the number of ammunition that may be owned and possessed by a licensed citizen. This reservation, however, the PNP is open to further discuss the details of this concern with the end view of having a consensus that will not compromise public safety and security, and taking into consideration our social responsibility as a good and law-abiding citizens of this country. To give ample time for the deliberation today, Mr. Chair, we wish to give our comments and recommendations as we go along with the discussions on the provisions of the House bills. Moreover, due to the interest of time, we humbly appeal to the Honorable Committee that the official position paper of the PNP will be submitted at a later date to include our comments and recommendations and to give us time to get consensus from our leadership. Thank you, and once again, good morning po.
Yes, maraming salamat, General Dilag. While I was comparing with my partner, Congressman Akop, and Senator Busita. Kasi nagkaroon tayo ng issue dyan no, nung hearing namin po about the those foreigners who are owning guns. No? Kasi maraming balita that, can you kindly give us an estimate on how many fake documents that was secured by those foreigners to acquire license from FEO. Kasi sa PNP nakakuha si Tony Yang di ba? You remember the issue about this Tony Yang?
Yes, sir.
So, bakit po siya nakakuha ng license pero alam naman po natin na well, siguro hindi nyo alam pero foreigner siya, di ba? So, can you kindly explore this issue? Kasi kung si Tony Yang ay isa lamang doon sa mga hindi Pilipino na nakakuha, what more yung iba pang mga foreigners? Sige, sir.
Yes, sir. Nag-submit po si Mr. Tony Yang ng mga requirements gaya ng birth certificate, yung license niya, driver's license. So, apparently, yung evaluators natin, sir, they thought na these were authentic documents. Kaya po, nag-proceed po yung application niya, sir.
Is there any no other way for the licensing authority to validate the authenticity of those licenses that required by your office? Kasi katulad nun, no? What are the requirements needed para po basta ba magdadala na lang sila ng driver's license or birth certificate? And per se, kung nai-produce na yun, that's it. You don't need to validate it anymore.
Based dun lang po, sir, sa sinasubmit nilang documents.
Yun lang pinagbabasihan?
Yes, sir. But ang process po, sir, is dapat po i-present yung original document, sir, when claiming the ID.
So wala pa tayong tinatawag na automated system on these requirements. Like for example, kung ang requirement nyo is birth certificate, wala pa tayong understanding or undertaking with the PSA or the LTO with regards to this authenticity of these documents that was submitted to FEO?
Wala pa po, sir, but we have efforts towards that end, sir.
Kasi kung, for example, ako, foreigner ako, tapos magsasubmit ako sa inyo, do I need to be present when submitting all these documents like driver's license, birth certificate? Do
Yes,
I have
sir.
to be present?
Yes, sir.
Kailangan present ka.
Opo, sir.
And then, from that document, yun lang ang pagbabasehan natin kung i-issue natin sila ng ano.
Yes, sir.
So, parang nagkaroon tayo ng failure on this matter, no? Kasi we have found out doon sa hearing namin na hindi po siya Pilipino. The chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Reynante Arrogancia. So, ano po, ano nangyari po doon sa mga lisensya na issue natin kay Mr. Tony Yang?
It was revoked, sir.
So, how many more foreigners, no, na na-revoke natin ng mga lisensya?
Around 40, sir.
40?
Yes, sir.
So far, 40 pa lang. But meron pa po tayo mga ibang tinitignang mga personalities.
Yes, sir. Continuous po yung effort natin, sir, na mag-validate po, sir.
How about yung mga brothers ni Mr. Tony Yang? Sila Michael Yang, sila ano? Na-issuean ba natin sila ng mga licenses?
No, sir.
Wala.
Yes, sir. We checked already on that matter, sir.
And that is one of the provision of the bill na need to be addressed, no?
Yes,
Yung mga ganito. And doon sa bill natin, merong provision doon that foreigners can be issued licenses, no? Yung mga permanent resident na mga foreigners. So yun yung i-discuss natin po sa technical working group that will be created by this committee in a while. So baka may mga question ang ating mga members about this issue. Congressman Bosita.
Mr. Chair,
you
actually, wala
you
po
are
akong-
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, wala po akong questions to any resource person. Mr. Chair, may I move to create technical working group?
We will be asking muna yung ibang pang resource
yes.
person.
Sorry,
and then
Mr.
we'll
Chair.
be, we'll
Yes,
be recognizing you. So,
Mr. Chair, excuse me.
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway, sayang naman yung time na binigay niyo sa akin. Mr. Chair, pwede po bang malaman sa FEO? Currently, more or less, may data po ba kayong dala kung ilan yung licensed firearms?
Yes, sir. We have data on that, sir.
May we know how many?
The universal data, sir, is around 2.7 million po, sir.
Registered firearms, license.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. 2 point,
To be exact, sir, 2,752,539 po, sir.
yes. Mr. Chair, maray bang malaman, meron bang loose firearms? Siyempre.
Yes, sir.
Based on your data, how many loose firearms?
We have around 545,742 firearms that can be categorized as loose firearms because they cannot be renewed anymore, sir. Kasi po, na-revoke po sila, sir.
Okay, so if we have a list of lost firearms and that is more than 500,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Meron po ba kayong accomplishment periodically?
Yes, sir. Meron po, sir.
Meron po ba dyan? Like, for example, Mr. Chair, today is January 13. So, last December, ilan po ang accomplishment ninyo against loose firearms?
Sir, we'll submit po, sir, yung data after this meeting, sir.
Mr. Chair, pwede po bang mag-request na to direct the PNP to submit list of their accomplishments with regard to the loose firearms periodically, Mr. Chair?
Okay, the PNP is hereby directed to submit to us, ASAP, the list of the accomplishment regarding doon po sa mga loose firearms, yearly. Am I correct?
Monthly, Mr. Chair.
Monthly. Okay. Para maging basis po natin sa technical working group that we will be creating in a while. Okay? PNP? Klaro po.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Pwede po bang malaman, Mr. Chair, kailan isasubmit ng PNP?
Within this week, sir.
Within this week, siguro, Mr. Chair, kahit until Friday this week. Kaya po ba, PNP?
Yes, sir.
Yung po ba isasubmit nyo is good for 2024?
Yes, sir. Apo, sir.
How about yung ibang years po? Can you submit?
Yes, sir. Cumulative na po yun, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so kung wala na po tayong punta tayo sa NICA, no? NICA, being represented by si Director Silvio, Directorate for Counterintelligence. Director Perlu, Silvio, you are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Honorable Dan Bernaldez and other members of this committee, colleagues in the government, stakeholders from the firearm sector. Magandang umaga po ulit. In behalf of NICA, we'd like to recognize and appreciate the initiatives of the Honorable Congressman for initiating these 3 bills. And for NICA, rest assured, sir, rest assured that we will be continuously collecting informations, gather this in line with the emerging threats, both at the domestic scene and at the international level. Of course, we will be glad to share informations also, and for that, we will be submitting our position within this week, Mr. Chair. That's all. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Okay, so thank you so much, NICA po. Have you submitted a position paper in this matter?
Nasabi ko po, within this week po.
Okay, please. All right, so the next resource person is Ambassador? No. Attorney Martin B. Ontog, the Chief for Legal and International Affairs of the Office of the Special Envoy on Transnational Crime. Sir, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. On behalf of the Special Envoy on Transnational Crime, a pleasant morning to the chairperson and the members of this committee, as well as the stakeholders and colleagues in the government. Good morning. First of all, Mr. Chair, upon review of the 3 House bills introduced, we took notice that some provisions take steps toward enhanced firearm regulation, prioritizing safety and accountability. In contrast, there are also provisions that risks undermining these gains by prioritizing individual convenience over public safety and security. Collectively, these bills highlight the ongoing need for a balanced, evidence-based approach to firearm regulation and legislation that prioritizes societal welfare over individual firearm privileges. From the perspective of the transnational crime prevention, some provisions in the House bills provide opportunities to enhance firearm regulation and align with international standards. However, some provisions push for a relaxed regulations that risks undermining these efforts and could inadvertently contribute to the proliferation of firearms and ammunition in the transnational black markets. Your Honor, if we may, this committee should prioritize a robust public safety, monitoring mechanisms, and adherence to global standards to prevent the Philippines from becoming a hub for transnational weapons trafficking. That would be all, Your Honor.
Mukhang advance kayo sa inyong position paper, and thank you for
Yes,
this.
Your Honor.
We were discussing about the position paper that you have submitted to us. So thank you for that. It will give us more flexible room para we can adopt a more adaptive bill, no, dito sa ginawa po nating sponsorship dun sa House Bill number 11141. Okay, So, sunod na po natin yung firearm dealers and manufacturers. So, we have invited also the owner of Armscore. So, sino ba owner? Armscore, si Miss Christina Tuason. Ma'am, you are recognized. Ay, sino pa? Yung Firearms and Ammunition Manufacturers Association of the Philippines, PAMAP, si Miss Gina Marie Angangco, ang presidente. So, ma'am, you are now recognized. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, to the honorable members of the Congress, and our fellow stakeholders in the industry and our partners in the various government offices. We are very happy that this House bills are being taken up. We have no opposition, and we truly support the need to have peace and order in our country. However, we do want to emphasize that there are illegal manufacturers and illegal dealers and owners of illegal firearms that put a bad light on our industry. And we have identified some of the provisions here. Many of them are all right, some of them are not, but we will present a formal position paper once we start finding out what other concerns are. But one of the issues here, do you want to take it up regarding the number of firearms? There is a bill here that regarding the number of firearms that an individual can possess. We have allowed, the PNP or the government has allowed type 5 license holders, meaning they can own more than 15 firearms. And there are some who already have more than that. Based on this law number 9718, type 5 is being reduced to 20 firearms, and the balance of the firearms in excess of 20 are supposed to be surrendered without compensation. It was allowed, and so these people are not the ones who have committed the crimes. Based on, I know the intent of this is to prevent election-related violence and other crimes, but based on statistics we've heard, because I think in one hearing in the Senate, the PNP was asked for statistics on firearms involved in crime. Without that, the latest statistics we've heard is legal firearms only account for 0.005% of the crimes involved in firearms. So this is a very small, of course, every crime is not good, but if we are going to look at the efforts put on controlling and further regulating the legal industry without doing more against the illegal industry, we are being put at a disadvantage when we follow the law carefully. So we'll go, as we go along, we'll maybe request to put our position.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Gina. We will be inviting you over on the technical working group.
Yes, we'll be very happy to support that.
All right, thank you so much. So, we have also invited yung ating pong mga shooting associations and gun owners associations. So, sa Metro Arms Corporation, kasama po natin si Attorney Hector Rodriguez and Attorney Modesto Lacambra. Sir, you are recognized, please. Ano susunod dito?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the members of this committee. It has been 10 years since the Republic Act 10591 was enacted. It was and took effect sometime in 2014. And we welcome the move of this committee to revisit the law and introduce amendments based on our experiences in the implementation of the said law. So we fully support that. We have filed our preliminary position paper after reviewing the 3 pending bills. Basically, majority of it we do not have any comment, except that for House Bill number 893 on Section 40 of RA 10591, wherein the fine is being increased from 10,000, I think, to 100,000. We find it too excessive, Your Honor. On Section 43 on the final amnesty, we just have a question on the term mentioned there, the term unregistered firearm in the first paragraph of the said section. Does it include fully automatic rifles classified under RA 10591 as light weapons? Will the bill, if enacted into law, allow accept those fully automatic firearms or rifles classified as light weapons? As far as House Bill number 9718, filed by the Honorable Eduardo Brother Eddie Villanueva, we just have one comment, Your Honor. It pertains to the surrender of the ammunition possessed by a licensed citizen in excess of what will be finally approved as the quantity allowed to be bought or possessed by a licensed citizen. And that bill requires the excess thereof to be surrendered to the Philippine National Police. Our comment is just, it is confiscatory in nature, it is unconstitutional, it constitutes an unlawful taking of one's property without due process of law, and of course, just compensation. As far as House Bill number 11141, filed by the Honorable Chairman, just a few comments, or some of which are questions and clarification. As far as on the proposed amendment to Section 3Y of 10591, which states in part, permit to carry firearms outside of residence, refers to a written authority issued to a licensed firearm by the Chief of the PNP, or a duly authorized representative, or by the Chief of RCSU, which entitles such person to carry his or her registered or lawfully issued firearm outside of residence. For question or clarification, under the above quoted provision, will the Chief of the RCSU still need to be authorized in writing by the PNP Chief before she can issue a PTCFOR to a licensed citizen? Second question or clarification, does the phrase registered or lawfully issued firearm underscored in the above quoted provision include registered or lawfully issued rifles and shotguns to licensed citizens classified under RA 10591 as small arms? On Section 5 of the amendatory bill amending certain provisions of Section 13 of RA 10591, the proposed amendment as written in the last paragraph of page 7 of the amendatory bill states, upon approval of the license to manufacture or otherwise deal in firearms by the Chief of the PNP or a duly authorized representative as the case may be, the same shall be transmitted to the FEO of the PNP, which shall issue the license in accordance with the approved terms and conditions upon execution and delivery by the applicant of the required bond. Did not state the basis in setting or computing the amount of bond to be
Attorney
posted.
Rodriguez, your questions and clarification will be discussed on the
Okay. Yes.
appropriate time, like on the technical working group that will be
Yes.
created. For the meantime, we wanted to find out your position on this matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Only your position. And then we will be discussing the merit of your
Thank you.
clarification on the proper time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Those are stated in our position, but just one last, on Section 9 of the amendatory bill amending Section 21, wherein firearms and its parts solely for import and export are being exempted from the procurement of the certificate of authority to transport from the COMELEC. We would just like to recommend that the term firearms, more particularly its part, the parts must be enumerated, because under the Republic Act 10591, there are so many parts that are mentioned there. The major parts, minor parts, accessories, forgings and castings, and mill run parts. And we would like that to be enumerated in the law, because some government agencies are not so clear on that provision, its part. Just like the Bureau of Customs, when we import our materials from abroad, casting, mill run parts, forgings, they still require us to secure a COMELEC exemption during the election gun ban. But I think the COMELEC has position there is that they only regulate firearms and I think major parts. So that is stated in our position paper. Thank you very much, Mr. Honorable Chairman.
All right. Thank you so much, Attorney Rodriguez. So we'll go to the next resource person, Mr. Alaric Topacio of the AFAD. Alaric, you are now recognized. Before you proceed, the Chair would like to acknowledge the presence of Congressman Sergio Dagoc of the APEC party list. Sir, welcome. Go ahead.
Honorable Chair, esteemed colleagues, and distinguished guests, as we gather today to discuss the proposed amendments to Republic Act 10591, I, in representation of majority of the companies in the defense industry, is in full support of the Honorable Dan Fernandez's and Congressman Romero's efforts to recalibrate our firearms in a way that not only enhances our national security, but also recognizes the significant economic potential of the firearms industry in the Philippines. We would also like to express our reservations for House Bill 9718, which we will be submitting our position paper in the next few days. The firearms industry is a niche sector. It is a growing and vital part of our economy. When properly regulated, this industry has the capacity to generate thousands of jobs, boost innovation, and contribute to our economic development both locally and internationally. From manufacturing to retail, training, and security services, the economic impact of a thriving firearms industry cannot be overstated. However, Mr. Chair, as we acknowledge the potential for economic growth, we must also address the primary concern of public safety. But let me make this clear. The issue is not with responsible law-abiding citizens who legally own and use firearms. The real problem lies with criminals who possess illegal weapons and use them to commit crimes. We must be careful not to allow laws meant to curb criminal behavior to penalize those who comply with regulations and are committed to using firearms responsibly. It is vital that we distinguish between those who are following the law and those who are exploiting it for criminal purposes. Law-abiding firearm owners who have gone through the necessary legal processes to acquire and register their firearms should not be burdened by additional restrictions that unfairly target them. The problem lies with illegal firearms, which are often trafficked by criminals who have no regard for the law. Therefore, our efforts should focus on strengthening enforcement mechanisms to combat the illegal arms trade and not on punishing responsible citizens who adhere to the legal framework. The economic growth of the firearms industry should not be hindered by unfounded fears of misuse by legitimate owners. Instead, we should ensure that laws are targeted and effective, addressing the root causes of illegal firearms trafficking while supporting responsible gun ownership. By striking the balance, we can ensure the fire industry continues to thrive, create jobs and opportunities for Filipinos without compromising our security. In these challenging economic times, we must support industries that can offer stability and growth. The firearms sector, with its potential to expand domestically and internationally, should be recognized as a key player in our economic strategy. By amending RA 10591, we are not simply adjusting regulations, we are empowering an industry that can generate significant economic returns, provide employment, and support innovation, all while ensuring public safety through focused law enforcement efforts. Let us remember, Mr. Chair, if I would like to emphasize that the goal is not to punish responsible firearm owners, but to protect our society from criminal activity involving illegal firearms. Through these amendments, we can help nurture an industry that benefits our economy and strengthen our national security. Mr. Chair, to cite an example, we have had hearings before with the Senate regarding amendments for RA 10591, and it has been mentioned years before during the previous Senate hearing that less than 5% of registered guns, actually less than 1%, 0.5% of legitimate firearm owners, registered firearms, are used during the elections to commit crimes. Majority, if not almost all of the guns used during election-related violence are all unregistered firearms, illegally acquired firearms. So our primary concern as an industry is we are putting restrictions to legal gun owners, and at the same time, we are punishing legal gun owners for doing something that, whether they use it offensively or defensively. Mr. Chair, we will be submitting a position paper regarding this. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Mr. Topacio. So, Mr. Efren Reyes, kasamahan ko sa pelikula. Ilan na ba napatay mo sa pelikula using licensed
ilang
firearms?
beses na akong pinatay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Your Honor.
You are now recognized, Mr. Efren Reyes Jr. Go ahead.
Thank you po. As a representative of Philippine Shooters and Match Officers Confederation headed by former TESDA Secretary Suharto Mangudadatu, former congressman too, I'm being the Vice President External of PSMOC. The position right now is I agree with mostly of all their resentments and with regards to the mga bills na they're trying to pass, and the position right now for PSMOC is the shooters. Ever since the enactment of the RA 10591, we have been what you call this disenfranchised. Nawala na po ang karapatan ng mga shooters with regards to permit to transport. Before, we were enjoying permit to transport na mga 6 months, even yung iba nga mga binibigyan pa ng 1 year na permit to transport to all firing ranges in the Philippines, including practices and competitions. Ngayon, we are merely limited to 5 days for every competition. Wala pang, kung magwa-practice ka, kailangan pang kumuha ng permit to transport ulit. Masyadong nalilimitahan yung galaw ng mga shooters natin, where in fact our shooters also represent the Philippines in world competitions. By limiting our practices and competitions, nahihirapan tayo sumali. But in fact, lately we have been champions in world shoot, Mr. Topacio, saan yun? 1, 2, 3, sila ang tatlong Pilipinas lahat ang nanalo. Australasia ba? We are one of the best shooters in the world. If we restrict our shooters, baka bumaba tayo sa standing natin. Yun lang po ang request ng PISMO for this time.
Mr. Reyes, I would like to disagree with you. Wala pa naman itong mga batas na ito nung nanalo ng 1, 2, 3, di po ba?
Ito
Wala
na
pa
po.
naman eh. It's the present law kung bakit nanalo yung ating mga competitors na sinasabi mo. Why would you say na hindi naman nanalo kung ipapasa natin itong mga bills na ito? What is your
By
basis?
nalilimitahan po yung ibang mga shooters
Hindi nga
natin.
nalilimitahan nun. Nanalo na nga sila eh. Ikaw na mismo ang nagsabi eh.
Opo, yung iba po, meron
So, ibig
konting...
mo sabihin, kailangan natin luwagan.
Luwagan lang po natin ang
Bakit
konti.
po?
Ha? Dahil nalilimitahan po yung mga competitors
Hindi,
natin.
It's limited by law. Bakit po natin luluwagan? What is your logic behind that?
Logic
Kasi hindi,
being...
I cannot concur with your statement as a lawmaker.
Because
I
yung
cannot.
iba po, binibigyan lang po ng permit to carry na with 500 rounds.
Nanalo na nga sila with that eh.
Yes, sir.
Why do you have to loosen the law? For you to win again?
Or to maintain.
Maintain lang po
Yan.
natin.
Siguro yan.
That's why I do not
Ilagay lang
agree
po
with your
natin.
point, Mr. Reyes.
Kasi nga po, yung mga nakaraang mga chief PNP po, I'm not mentioning na, napunta po sa chief PNP ang pagbibigay ng permit to carry sa mga sport shooters wherein we do not carry, we merely transport the firearms.
Hindi. Ang point ko, Mr. Reyes, with the
Opo.
present law, nanalo na kayo ng 1, 2, 3. Yun ang sabi mo eh.
Opo.
Tapos ngayon, luluwagan para magkaroon kayo ng 5,000 na ammunition for one. Kasi limited to 500 according to the law.
The 500 is for the transport of the firearm, of the ammunition to the range.
Yes.
Yung 5,000...
That is not enough.
The 500, usually po, 500 is kung minsan kinukulang pa ang shooter sa firing range for a competition.
Yung PNP, do you agree with that? That 500 is not enough for practice? For one practice session? Under the law, they can replenish? Oh, what's the problem?
Opo.
Wala palang problema eh.
So, ang sinasabi ni Chairman Acop ay we created champions, di ba? The best, no? Using the present law. And in this bill, increasing the amount of ammunition, no? Parang hindi natin nabibit yung purpose, di ba? Unless that we wanted to have more champions, no? In different categories. So probably that's the best answer.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we will just submit our position paper later.
Okay. All right. Kasi yun lang yung narrative po ni Chairman Acop that since we have already approved yung law and we created champions at mga magagaling sa buong mundo, palagay ko ay marami pa na maghahangad kung mas marami yung nagagamit nating mga ammunition during practices ng mga associations. Anyway, siguro, Chairman, we will be discussing that thoroughly on the technical working group. Talagang medyo masalimuot tong isyung to. So we will be proceeding to the next Mr. Topacio, are you raising your hand?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Mr. Chair, to answer the question lang of the good Congressman Acop, I think si Mr. Reyes, hindi niya masyado explain. A lot of these shooters during the gun ban and most of the time when they practice, a lot of them are in the US because in the US, they don't restrict ammunition. If you talk to any shooter here in the Philippines, especially those who compete abroad, I mean, my brother is part of the national team for shotgun, and he can only bring a certain amount of rounds during practice rounds. The minimum amount of ammunition, if you want to train competitively, if you want to go to the World Cup, if you want to join the Olympics or the SEA Games, is at least 1,000 to 1,500 rounds a day. And we are only being allowed, I believe, if you're a sport shooter, 500. And during that time, Mr. Chair, even if you replenish, it takes probably a week at most to get a permit to transport. Whereas if you're a competitive shooter and you're representing the Philippines, you would need to practice almost every day if possible. So I think that is the reason why these proposed amendments are being kaya siya linalatag po sa inyo, Mr. Chair. It's not only to allow yung amount of ammunition to be owned, but also most of the reason is because sport shooters really need to practice with a lot of ammunition. And bear in mind po, Mr. Chair, with the increase of ammunition na pinopropose po dito sa House Bill, from what we understand, this does not only include the civilians. Because as gun stores po, whenever we sell ammunition, even to law enforcement, may it be the PNP, NBI, PDEA, AFP, when they buy ammunition in their personal capacity, we can only sell them 50 rounds.
Okay. That's understandable. Now,
Mr. Chair.
before, sige, Congressman Acop din, Congressman Plato.
Kasi yun lang ang provided for by law and you have to abide by that. Di ba? That is what the law says. Otherwise, criminal cases will be filed against you if you violate that.
Yes. That's why we support the amendment nga po, Mr. Congressman. Thank you po.
Alright, so we will be, medyo umiinit na ang ating discussion and that's the reason why we need to create a technical working group on this matter. Kasi medyo contentious yan. Pero because we have an existing law and we have to follow it, and that's the reason why meron tayong amendments na gagawin natin. But, of course, it will be also debatable on the technical working group. Congressman Plato, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. Ito lang question ko, I would like to direct Mr. Chair sa mga gun owners, itong mga gun clubs. Mr. Chair, yung bang Mr. Reyes, meron ba kayong mga, tuloy ba, yung mga continuing seminar tungkol dito sa mga, kasi nangyayari dito sa umpisa lang ang seminar. May lisensya 5 or 10 years ang license ngayon, dapat siguro may continuing para sa mga storage practices, yung mga tungkol the updated laws and regulations, at saka yung mga conflict resolution techniques and responsible handling of firearms in various situations. Meron ba tayong ginagawang seminar o doon lang sa umpisa? Sa umpisa lang ba?
Meron naman po mga gun ownership na na mga nagpapa-seminar. Sino ba yung mga nagpapa-seminar sa responsible gun ownership? Merong isang group na kina 5-0 ba? Unfortunately, 5-0 is not here to what do they call the group?
Mr. Chair, may I?
Ma'am, you are now recognized, please.
Sir, before one can get a license to own and possess firearm, they have to go through a gun safety seminar.
Yeah,
However, along the way, many of the firearm dealers and those also who conduct shooting ranges have classes very often which the enthusiasts are free to join, whether they want to learn more about how to properly shoot or more also on proper maintenance and following the law regarding the firearms and ammunition that they have.
Okay, thank you, Sir Chair.
Okay, salamat po. So we'll be proceeding to the next resource person from Mr. Charles Khalid S. Rico. Nandito po ba siya? Okay, sir, you are now recognized.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, for having us. My name is Charles Khalid Rico, and I represent the online community of Philippine Ricochet Line. This is a YouTube and Facebook community that talks about Philippine gun laws and gun ownership in general. This is a 12,600 strong community, and we also are allied with the Jose Rizal Adventures. This is an online community that has over 56,000 subscribers in YouTube. So first off, I would like to express my gratitude for having us here. And just as a high-level overview of our stance on the House bills, first off, we are very thankful that we are having this discussion on amendments for RA 10591. I think this is very important to helping us all come to an agreement on how we can improve things so that we can make things better for law-abiding gun owners. So, first off, I would like to note that there are 3 Senate bills. Just as a high-level feedback on what we have so far. For House Bill 00893, and this is the House bill that that requests, for example, amendments be made to increase the penalties on notification of lost firearms and on notification of address changes. We would like to express our reservations and even opposition to this, and we believe that we want to incentivize reporting of lost firearms and not to penalize it. So if we are to make sure that people report their lost firearms or change in addresses, we want to make it easy for them to report these things and not to punish them for it. This is very important because a lot of fellow Filipinos here, us here in Metro Manila, it's easy to do these reports. But if you're in the provinces, it's very hard. And for OFWs especially, this is also very difficult. So we would like to request that that we do not have these changes, because one thing that we also like to point out is that 100,000 is very excessive. Some firearms only cost 10,000, and then you're penalizing them 100,000 for its loss. So I think that's very unfair. So for the next one, we have House Bill 9718, which in summary limits the ownership of Type 5 licensed gun owners to just 20 firearms, and everything else is to be surrendered to the PNP-FEO. We would also like to express our reservations, even opposition to this bill, to this House bill, because with all due respect to this proposal by Brother Eddie Villanueva, this is practically legalized confiscation of hard-earned property. This is, well, pardon the term, legalized theft, and would be very unfair to people who own more than 20 firearms for you to just simply surrender it to authorities without any compensation whatsoever. I think that if we are to ever require something like that, there should be compensation at the very least, but even so, if that is the case, where are we going to get the budget for it? I would rather have that budget be spent on infrastructure and healthcare and education rather than on buying properties in excess of 20 firearms. You know, firearms owned by people who own more than 20 firearms. So I think this is unfair to those to Type 5 license owners. Another thing is that we would like to express our opposition as well to the requirement that we only limit firearms ownership to 50 rounds. This is also unfair to a lot of people who live in the provinces because they have to travel very far just to get 50 rounds. And you're going to go through those 50 rounds in a day, especially if nakatira ka, for example, sa Batanes, ano? If you live in the faraway islands, you're going to spend a lot of time and money just getting 50 rounds, and then you're going to spend that very quickly, and you have to come back again and have to get the requisite paperwork for that, which is the PTTFA for each purchase of firearm, which is a big hassle to gun owners. Finally, for House Bill 11141 by Honorable Representative Dan Fernandez, we would like to express our full support to every part of this. This is very helpful to gun owners. And we have already submitted our 3 position papers on each House bill, and we will be more than happy to discuss this in detail in future hearings. So for that, I would like to
Yeah,
thank
may
you,
position
Honorable
paper
Dan
sila.
Fernandez, for this House bill.
Asan?
It's very helpful.
Okay, thank you so much,
So there you
Mr. Rico. You have submitted to us your position paper. Okay, so we'll be distributing that to the members of this committee, and especially to the members of the technical working group that will be created in a while. So, Mr. Paul Ong Teves, ng Pistolerong Pinoy, you are recognized.
Magandang umaga po, Mr. Chair, Honorable Congressmen, mga panauhin at mga resource persons. Una, nagpapasalamat po kami sa pagkakataon na ibinigay niyo po sa amin na nasa gun community na mapakinggan po ang boses ng mga responsible gun owners. Ako po si Mr. Paul Teves, mas kilala po sa online o social media, Pistolerong Pinoy. In behalf of the responsible gun owners or the gun community, nais po namin iparating sa kinauukulan ang mga sumusunod. Actually, marami po yung mga proposals na ito eh. Kung i-gather ko po yun, kulang po yung page ng aking ano. So ilan lang po ito sa mga proposals na gusto ko iparating ngayon. Yung iba kasi sinabit ko na po sa aking position paper. Ito lang po yung mga example po ng mga naisip parating ng gun community. Una po, yung validity po ng permit to carry firearm outside the residence o yung PTC FOR. Sa kasalukuyan po kasi nasa 2 taon lang po tayo, 2 years ano po. Ang gusto po namin o proposal po namin, gawin man lang po ito na 5 years. 5 years po, pero sana hindi po yung excess yung fee. Kasi ang nangyari po sa fee natin yung unang taon po, yung dati ang PTC FOR po ay 1 taon nasa 6,200. Nung ginawa pong 2 taon, na double the price po yun. So ang gusto po sana ng gun community, parang sa LTO license po, no, na extend po siya ng 10 taon, pero yung fee, ganun pa rin po. Sana po mapagbigyan po kami. Number 2 po, yung streamlining po ng requirements para sa pagkuha po ng PTC FOR. Kasi sa pagkuha po ng PTC FOR, kailangan pa po natin ng threat assessment. At sa threat assessment po kasi, selective lang po yung mga exempted sa threat assessment sa pagkuha ng PTC FOR. Ano? Sa tingin po ng gun community, lahat naman po tayo ay may threat. Hindi lang po sa bahay. Paglabas po natin, hindi po natin alam kung ano po yung pwede mangyari sa atin. Pwede po tayong maging biktima ng crime o mga, alam niyo na po, mga masasamang loob. Sana po, prayers po namin, tanggalin na lang po sana yung threat assessment. And ito, last na po ito. Yung issuance po ng permit to transport ng 5.56 rifles o 7.62. Sa ngayon po kasi ang nai-issuehan lang ng permit to transport ay mga pistols, revolvers. Sana po mapagbigyan po tayo. Bakit po kailangan natin ng permit to transport ng mga rifles? Kasi po, para po makapag-practice po kami sa range. And hindi po natin masasabi, wag naman po sana mangyari, no? Pagka magkagulo po rito, kami pong mga legal gun owners ay pwede pong maging force multipliers. Kaya po, paano po kami magiging force multipliers kung yung mga rifles po namin ay nakatambay lang po sa bahay o nagiging paperweight lang po, nakadisplay lang po nasa gun cabinet? Sana po mga sir, bigyan po ninyo kaming ng pagkakataon na mailabas po namin ang aming mga rifles upang makapag-practice po kami. Huwag po kayo mag-alala, kami pong mga responsible gun owners ay dumaan po sa mga requirements po ninyo, neuropsych, drug test. Sumunod po kami sa lahat ng mga requirements, patakaran po ng kinauukulan upang makakuha po kami ng LTAP. Sana po it's about time na pagkatiwalaan niyo naman po ang mga responsible gun owners wag niyo po kami pagdudahan o hindi po kami yung kalaban. Sabi nga po nila, Ma'am Gina, pare-pareho po tayong galit sa mga loose firearm. Sila po yung nagkakos ng crime, hindi po kami.
Mr.
At
Chair.
kung meron man po na meron po man mga responsible gun owners na gumawa ng crime, I think it's about less than 0.1% lang po yun, ayon po sa statistics. Muli po, nagpapasalamat po kami, mga legal gun owners na sa gun community, sa pagkakataon na binigay po niyo sa amin.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, Congressman, are you done with your, are you done,
Apo.
Sige, Congressman Bosita, please.
Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang i-clarify kay Mr. Ong Tevez. Ano po ang basis ninyo para sabihin ninyo lahat tayo may threat?
Kung nababalitaan naman po natin sa mga balita, sa mga newspapers, sa mga TV, may mga naho-hold up po, yung mga ganun, nabibiktima po ng crime.
So, Mr. Chair, is Mr. Ong saying na even ordinary employee dito may threat? Ganun po ba? Gusto ko lang malinawan po. Kasi medyo nakakatakot yung nyo po para sa mga ordinary individuals na lahat pala may threat.
Yeah, what I'm saying is meron po tayong potential na maging victim po ng mga crime, mga street crimes po.
So insisting po kayo na lahat may threat? Lahat? Ibig sabihin pong lahat, 100% ng Pilipino may threat? Yun po ba ang gusto niyo sabihin, Mr. Tevez?
Pwede po yun. Opo.
Hindi po yung pwede. Ang gusto ko pong i-clarify sa'yo, pag sinabi po ninyong lahat, 100%, kahit yung mga bata na inosente.
Ay, hindi naman po. Hindi naman po.
So,
I stand corrected po, Your Honor.
Paki-correct po ninyo kasi hindi po tama yon na parang sobrang gulo na sa Pilipinas.
Ay, hindi naman po. Hindi po yung ibig kong sabihin, Your Honor.
Pwede po ba, Mr. Chair, na ma-strike out yung kanya statement
yes
na
po,
lahat
opo.
may threat?
Right, so there's a motion to strike out that
Thank you po, Congressman
portion of your
Busita. Thank
position.
you po.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman Ako, please.
point of order. I think the resource person is willing to withdraw from his former statement. So there's no need for us to come up with a motion to strike out the statement.
Opo. I stand corrected po. Sorry po.
Okay, so we'll be striking that out. The COMSEC is hereby directed to strike that portion of his statement. Are you satisfied, Congressman Busita? Please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Kinorek ko lang, Mr. Chair, kasi yung ating pong mga kababayan, medyo naalarma pagka may mga information na hindi naman tama. Ang dami na nga fake news, dadagdagan pa natin. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
I
Chair.
agree with that. We have to be careful with our statement. No?
Sorry po, Your Honor.
Yeah, no, we understand. But especially now that yung social media ay napaka-bumilis pumikap ng mga statements that are being delivered on every committee on the House of Representatives. So let us be careful. All right. So we'll be proceeding to the next resource person, yung advocate for better gun rights, si Attorney Brian Go. Brian Go.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. You are
Representative.
recognized, please.
Thank you, the Honorable Chairperson. First of all, I would like to thank this Honorable Committee for inviting us all here and are gathered here today to take time out of their days to conduct a committee hearing. To reiterate some of the sentiments of the fellow resource persons, we would like to express support to the bill submitted by the Honorable Chairperson, and also I also would like to reiterate some of the reservations presented with House Bill 9718, specifically as mentioned by Attorney Rodriguez regarding the limitations of the number of the firearms, as well as the limitation on the amount of ammunition. I'm also a sport shooter with Arms Corps, and actually, if we were to limit the 50 rounds to an individual, that's usually just one long course of fire, so it's not really enough. I understand that I also was able to submit a position paper to this honorable committee, to which I attached my Juris Doctor thesis, which, with the help of the PNP, recognizing the presence of Police Lieutenant Colonel Tadeo, the Chief Legal Officer of the PNP, who aided me in that research and was most instrumental in submitting that. I've also attached that to my position paper for the consideration of this honorable committee, and I'm also honored to be able to discuss some of those matters tackled there regarding proposed amendments and whatever comments we may have at the most opportune time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be proceeding to the next resource person, Filipino Responsible Shooters Association Incorporated, headed by Raymond Alan O. Santos. You are now recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. House Bill number 9718, aralin po natin maigi, masyadong mabigat po yung penalties na ipinapataw po dito at lubos po naming sinusuportahan ng House Bill number 1141. Lalong higit po yung pagpapalawig ng permit to transport sa aming mga sport shooters. Dagdagan po sana natin kahit ilang buwan dahil pag outside the region, alam na po natin yon, may certain na bilang ng araw, kapos na kapos po yung bilang nito, at from 50 rounds ay ang prayer po natin ay maging 500 lamang po, maging makatotohanan, pagkat kung 50 lamang po ang madadala namin, paano po kami makakapag-practice noon? So bilang sport shooters, maraming salamat Mr. Chair, at magsasubmit na lang po kami ng position paper namin. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, last. Okay, huli na po. Si Captain Norman Pabia ng 7th Marine Brigade Reserve. Andito ba siya? Okay, sir, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and to the members of the honorable members of this committee. We support the amendments to the current gun laws of the Philippines to make it relevant to the current times and situation of the country. But we also, although we support, we also would like to state our objection and some on some of the provisions of the proposed bills. We will just submit our position papers on this, and maybe we can add some inputs during the technical working group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so any other person or resource persons who have been invited to, who wanted to give their position paper? And reminding all those who have been invited na i-expedite po nyo yung pagpapadala ng inyong pong mga posisyon sa isyong ito. And now we will be proceeding.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Congressman Sergio Dagok, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Before I forgot, mahirap kasi yung medyo may edad na, Mr. Chair, madaling makalimot. I would just like to 86. I would just like to request, Mr. Chair, si Mr. Topacio ba yung nagsabi na they need 1,500 rounds a day? So, for purposes of discussion in the technical working group, we would like to request Mr. Topacio to submit position paper or undertaking that will confirm that really the shooters competing here or international competition needs 1,500 rounds a day.
Mr. Congressman, we're more than happy to get our shooters to sign an undertaking stating that they need 1,000 rounds a day po.
Thank you.
All right. So, okay. Any other members who wanted to? Okay. Chairman Akop, now you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I know from the resource persons, the manufacturers, the shooters association, is owning a firearm a right or a privilege?
Anybody from the
Pinag-uusapan kasi natin ngayong
Yes.
araw na ito, yung gusto niyo na magkaroon ng firearm, bawat Pilipino na gustong magkaroon ng firearm. Now, let's start sa general principle. Is owning a firearm a right or a privilege? May I ask from the private sector first?
Who want to answer the query of Congressman Acop? So, Ma'am Gina Angangco, you are recognized. Please answer the query of Congressman Acop, please.
Mr. Chair, Congressman Acop, it is a right of every citizen to protect themselves.
No, I'm not asking that
Regardless
question.
of what
I'm
we
asking
use legally.
the question whether ownership of a gun is a right or a privilege.
Well, since we have
Your
to
right to
defend
defend, that is in
ourselves
the Constitution.
with whatever legal
Kindly answer my
unit,
question
then
directly,
we
yes or
believe
no?
it is a right.
Wait, ma'am. Please, when the members of this committee is speaking, don't interrupt.
I'm
Please
sorry,
wait
sir.
for
I will
the,
follow the protocol.
Yes, please wait for the members to finish first, and then you can reply. Go ahead, Congressman Acop, please.
Is ownership of a gun a right or a privilege?
Yes, Mr. Congressman, we
Yes.
believe
No
it
more.
is
Yeah.
a right.
It's okay. How about you, Mr.
we're
Reyes? It's a right.
The open mic. Open mic, Mr. Reyes, please.
Very specific yung tanong ko, ownership of a gun.
Yes, it's
It's a right?
it's a right. Like,
Okay.
It's almost like owning a car. It's a right to own a
Okay.
car.
Yeah. Kayo po, Madam.
Comelec. Attorney James or Attorney Bautista, you can reply to the query. Please answer.
In my opinion po, Your Honors, it is a privilege to own a firearm.
Thank you. Kayo po. Doon po sa mga shooters association.
Paki-turn up yung mic. To the associations of the Mr. Attorney Gutierrez, you are raising your hand, please.
Attorney Rodriguez,
Attorney-
Your Honor. Anyway, technically and legally, it is a statutory right. A right granted by law.
Okay. You want to ask?
Kindly present to me a provision of law that makes it a statutory right, that ownership of a gun is a right.
Yes, Your Honor.
What provision of law?
RA 10591.
What provision of 10591 would it state that it is a right? Abogado po kayo, di po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
It's a statutory right, meaning it is granted by
It
law.
is provided for by law.
Yes.
Nagkaintindihan tayo. Abogado rin po ako eh.
Yes, I know.
Oh. Kaya nga, what provision of law? Kindly state that provision of law. Kasi sinasabi mo statutory right. I'm asking you, what law grants that statutory right?
We'll check on the provision, Your Honor, of the law, and I'll get back, Your
Yes, hanapin mo lahat
Yes.
yan. Wala akong makita.
Yes, Your Honor.
Members of the PNP, you want to reply to the query of Congressman Acop, please? Simple lang naman tanong eh. Sige na po. You want to answer?
Mr.
Sige,
Chair,
go ahead. Please
Mr.
state
Chair,
your name.
Attorney Castillo from
DND, from DND.
From DND,
Go
the
ahead.
right to own firearms under the law is only a privilege, right, Mr. Chair? The rights that are mandated are those the right enshrined in our Constitution, but the right to own firearms is merely a privilege, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
PNP, please.
Sir, it is a privilege. We have a Supreme Court ruling to that effect, sir.
Asek Racho, please.
Mr. Chair, it is a privilege, sir.
All right. Sa
Privilege?
privilege.
About transnational crime.
Attorney Martin Ontok.
Your Honors, I would have to echo the sentiments of my colleagues. It is a privilege, Your Honor, and not a right.
Colonel Dilag, ano ang Supreme Court decision which says na ownership of a firearm is a privilege and not a right? Kasi binanggit mo na merong Supreme Court decision.
Yes, sir. The Chavez versus Romulo, sir.
I beg your pardon?
Chavez versus Romulo, sir.
When was that promulgated?
2009, sir.
2009. Okay. Would you agree with that, attorney? Doon sa huli.
Congressman, can I be allowed to speak? Attorney Lacambra, Your Honor.
Okay, you are recognized, Attorney
We need
Lacambra.
to distinguish between the two basic rights. Since it's now allowed by the law, it's
Ano po
now
ang
considered
allowed by law?
for the RA
Let's be clear about
10591,
it,
Your Honor.
kasi very specific yung tanong ko.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ownership of a gun.
It
is
is
it a
a-
right or privilege?
We need to distinguish, Your Honor. Since it's now allowed by law,
What do
it
you need
is
to
a
distinguish sa ownership of a gun?
it's now a statutory right, Your Honor.
Ownership
Because-
of a gun?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano
Statutory
po ang
right.
provision?
The state policy of the RA 10591 itself states, Your Honor, granting the private citizen to the right to own a licensed firearm, Your Honor.
Will you
It's a
please read that
statutory
provision
right.
of law na specifies ownership of a gun?
Yes, Your Honor.
The right to own a gun or right to self-defense ang sinasabi.
My partner will answer it, Your Honor.
So we have the copy of Republic Act 10591. What particular section of Republic Act 10591 are you pertaining with? Kasi yun ang tanong ni Congressman Acop.
Yes,
eh.
Your Honor.
Sige, state it, please.
Article on registration and licensing.
Article what?
Section 8. Anong article? Article 3, Your Honor. Article 3 of RA 10591, Section 9. It says there, subject to the requirements set forth in this Act and payment of required fees, a qualified individual may be issued the appropriate license under the following categories.
May be issued.
Yes.
May be issued.
Yes.
In other words, it is subject to regulations.
Well,
would you agree with me?
Yes, Your Honor. Of course. That's 10591. I think we are getting confused between
I'm
a
not
privilege.
confused, attorney.
No, the
I'm
confusion.
the one asking questions here.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not confused.
Okay.
I would like to read also a decision of the Supreme Court
I'm familiar
entitled
with that, Your
Acosta
Honor.
versus Ochoa, date, GR number 2111559, October 15, 2019. The gist of that decision is that use of firearms is a privilege, not a right. There is no constitutional right to bear arms. Neither is the ownership or possession of a firearm a property right.
We agree, Your Honor.
Wala na tayong pagdebatihan kung nag-agree ka, attorney.
Hindi.
Di ba?
I think we have to
Ikaw naman gusto mo pa lumusot eh. Huwag kang
clarify the
lumusot.
privilege and statutory right. It's practically almost the same and synonymous.
Walang nagsasabi directly na statutory right to own a firearm. No. I would beg to disagree with you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes.
Alright.
Huwag ka na lumusot,
So,
attorney.
ang pinag-usapan
Kasi,
po,
bago ako pumunta rito, nag-research na ako. Kayo, hindi nyo pa nga siguro nababasa yung mga ito eh.
We are very familiar with that, Your Honor.
Come on, attorney. Don't tell me that crap. Itong tanda kong ito, marami na ako nakasalamuhang kagaya mo. Itong palusot.
Thank you, Your Honor.
okay. Alright.
Now, there's another
go ahead,
question.
go ahead, Congressman Acop.
General principle, Mr. Chair, regarding this issue. Now, dito ngayon, pag-uusapan natin, which is more important, accessibility or safety? Matanong ko pa nga kayo, ano po ang mas importante? Kasi, if I read the provisions of the bills, ginagawa, mas gusto natin na mas accessible ang firearms at saka ammunitions. Now, which is more paramount, accessibility to firearms or safety of the people?
Okay, resource persons who wanted to answer.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
DND, please, answer.
Under the Constitution, Mr. Chair, under the General Welfare Clause, is the safety that's more paramount, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
What's your reply, please?
Under the General Welfare Clause of the Constitution, it is the safety which is more
The
paramount,
paramount.
than accessibility,
Yes,
Mr. Chair.
paramount consideration is the safety. Okay. PNP, again. PNP.
The populace, that comes first.
Okay. Nika, you want to answer?
Just like with the position of the PNP, sir, safety.
So, the ILG, same position?
Yes, sir. Safety of the people,
And also
sir.
the national crime?
Yes, Mr.
Same?
Chair. Same.
All right. The manufacturers and the dealers associations, you want to answer under the query of Congressman Akop? Please, the one wearing a white polo, please answer back.
That's attorney. Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. We actually agree with the sentiments of the government personnel that the safety of the public is something to keep into consideration. Although we would also like to submit that the accessibility and also the safety does not necessarily contradict each other, that there could be a picking of certain provisions which may be both beneficial to both the safety of the general welfare of the public as well as also making it accessible to some licensed individuals, because as we know, and as also pointed out by the Representative Akop, and correctly so, that the ownership of firearms, it is actually a privilege. We just have to distinguish that there is a difference between the property itself, which is a right to property, and being licensed to own, which is why we're here all today to request the kind indulgence of this committee, because we understand that the firearm ownership is regulated by laws, which is why we are here today. Having said that, we also submit that there is a possibility of promoting both accessibility and also the public safety, which is why we have to look into both jurisprudence, as also cited by the committee members here today, as well as relevant statistics, whether both local or international, to see trends, if there is any merit to promoting one sort of restriction over the other. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other resource persons who wanted to answer back? Mr. Rico? Mr. Rico?
Yes, thank you for recognizing this input, Honorable Fernandez. So for our feedback, this comes from our experience of owning firearms for many years now. Of course, we all want safety, and our firearms laws here in the Philippines at present are actually doing a very good job at keeping the public safe. However, I believe that there is somewhat of a false dichotomy here between having to choose between safety and accessibility, because the reality here is that we can have both. We can have both. We can have very safe firearms laws and at the same time improve the efficiency to help lawful gun owners. And the reason why this is important is because the more we restrict firearms ownership, the more loose firearms proliferate. It is very easy for criminals to acquire firearms illegally. And if we make it very difficult for people to own firearms, it will only mean that criminals will have a bigger disadvantage over us, and the more likely that firearms being sold in the black market will proliferate, because legal firearms are very difficult to acquire. So I think that we can accomplish both by working together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, mag-12 na, and we have another schedule. And probably, if Chairman Akop is already done. You're not yet done. Sige, go ahead.
I might be a member of the technical working group. Gusto kong malaman na kung ano kaisipan nila eh.
All right.
Bago kuwan.
So you want to this other resource person to answer as well?
Sinasabi po nila, the right to own a firearm is associated with the right to self-defense. Ganon yung mga statement na naririnig ko po sa inyo eh. Di po ba? Would you agree with that?
Who wants to answer? From the...
Kayo gusto nyo magkaroon ng firearms for self-defense. Di po ba? Yun naman ang katotohanan eh. Bakit po di natin aminin? Sige nga. Eh bakit kayo tahimik ngayon?
Advocates. Attorney, go ahead.
If I may, yes, Representative Acop, that is mentioned in Section 2 of 10591, sir.
Oh. If you read Section 2 of RA 10591, Declaration of State Policy, the state recognizes that the right to self-defense is provided as a justifying circumstance under the revised penal code. However, this right to self-defense, it is to be done through the use of firearms, is granted only to qualified, underscored, qualified citizens. And therefore, there's a need for regulation. Would you agree with that also?
Attorney, go ahead.
Yes, Representative Acop, yes, there's a need for regulation, which is why we are here today to propose what possible means of regulation may be, because even if it were a loosening or restricting, either or would still be regulation.
Yes. And assuming for the sake of argument that the right to possess firearms was considered a property right, it is doctrine also that property rights are always subject to the state police power. Would you agree with that also?
Yes, your Representative.
And therefore, regulations have to be made.
Yes, as long as it is reasonable, Your Honor, and following the proper standards of the strict scrutiny test, intermediate scrutiny test, or rational basis, as the case may be, sir.
Now, this question would be addressed to the public and the private resource persons. Why should one have 20 firearms if the purpose is for self-protection or self-defense?
O, dito muna sa mga gun advocates. Dito muna tayo. Left side. Anybody can answer. Again.
Your Honor, while we understand that the license to own and possess a firearm is a privilege premised on one's inherent right to self-defense, it is also understandable that it being property, if a person is already licensed and qualified to own a firearm, they may own multiple firearms as they may wish, and as long as the regulatory agencies would see it and deem fit that they can own it. And by the current status of legislation, it would depend on the specific type of firearm if they are allowed to own 2, 5, 10, 15, or more, Your Honor.
Okay, sa side ng ating mga government agencies, you want to reply on that? O, sino? Sino po?
Yung pulis dapat sumagot eh.
DND, PNP, siguro.
Bakit yung pinapayagan? Kasi, sa tingin ko, mas marami kayong earnings na nakukuha. Kasi mas maraming napapalisensya na firearms eh. I think that's the only logical reason that I can see. Why would an individual, single individual, need 20 firearms? If he's not a, shall we say, anong tawag na natin po doon, yung collector of firearms. Sige nga.
Geraldine,
justify.
Mr. Chair, we have gun owners or shooters who likes to compete in every category. Merong pistol, merong revolver, meron din pong rifle. But meron din pong shotgun. Pero meron din po talaga, sir, napansin kami na nangongolekta lang po ng mga various calibers ng firearm.
Under the law, meron kayong category ng mga firearms collector eh. Di ba? But you are not answering my question. What is the logic behind an individual owning 20 firearms if he is not a firearms collector?
In other words, bakit nyo pinapayagan? Kung hindi naman po sila, aside from being a guns collector, di ba? So, bakit natin pinapayagan?
Before, nung nasa serbisyo pa ako, one long and one short lang ang allowed. Would you agree with me also?
Yes, sir.
Yes. One long, one short lang allowed. Nabago na ng mga batas. Now, give me the logic why an individual person would be allowed to possess 15, 20 firearms. Bakit? And why would a person need 50 rounds of ammunition, more than 50 rounds of ammunition? Except for those firearm, shall we say, involved in sports.
Okay, Mr. Topacio, go ahead.
Mr. Congressman, I can cite an example on why a person would need more than 15 guns. So
More than 20.
Yes. So before, if we talk about 15 to 20 years ago, ang uso lang po is a 1911 and a rifle. But now with technology, if you notice, if you go to the gun show po, Mr. Chair, may I remind you, we're all for safety. When we put up gun shows, most of our seminars is about gun safety. We prioritize safety. Most shooters prioritize safety before they even shoot. That's the first thing you are taught. So, with regards to a person owning 20 guns, it's different for every scenario. For example, I'm a sport shooter. If I get into a category, let's say for example, pistol caliber carbine, when I compete, I don't buy one gun. I buy two. So, dalawa na kagad yun. I also buy, for every category that I compete with, I need two guns, especially if I'm serious, if I want to compete. Because pag nasira ang isa, I have no time to repair or replace. I have no time to repair or replace. And another po, with regards naman po to self-defense, dati po lahat full-size pistol. Now we have a full-size, you have a subcompact, you have a compact, you have a micro pistol. So you have 4 different sizes already for pistols. And as time goes by, every now and then, a person would buy a new gun because masyado na malaki yung baril ko. I used to carry a full size, but as I am getting older, I would want something more compact. Dati, all steel ang baril ko. Now, I want a polymer pistol. So that's one of the reasons why people have more than 15 or 20 guns. Because there are times that I have to buy 2 guns for competition, and at the same time, if I have a permit to carry, I have the option now because I bought a compact, a subcompact, or a micro pistol, or a full-size pistol. So that's probably, Your Honor, kung one of the reasons why people need 15 or 20 guns. They can be competing, there's new technology, there are even pistols right now that are foldable. I don't want to carry a pistol in my bag kasi sumasabit siya. So there's a foldable Glock pistol now that's available in the market. And there's a smaller revolver that's smaller than a micro pistol. So every person who are qualified to purchase a firearm, every person who has an LTOP has the option to buy these guns. And as long as they can pay, as long as they can register their firearms, as long as they comply with all the legal requirements that 10591 and the PNP set, as long as they are able to renew their firearms every time, there's nothing wrong with that. Kasi at the end of the day po, Mr. Chair, from our perspective po, we'd prefer po kasi na okay na marami ka, basta rinirehistro mo, basta rini-renew mo. As long as we have the data kung nasaan yung mga baril mo, we're fine with that. Kasi, believe it or not, Mr. Chair, we are one of the most strict when it comes to issuing licenses.
Doon po tayo magdidebate na, Mr. Topacio. Yeah. And I will stand at the plenary to object to that if these bills will pass the committee level. I wouldn't agree na dapat kung po pwede magkaroon ka ng 20 na firearms. Gusto ko na bumalik sa dati.
That's why, Mr. Chair, if I may po, during my statement kanina, it's important to take note that 10591 is primarily for the legal gun owners. Kasi if we assume that all legal gun owners with RA 10591, those who have more than 20 guns, kung i-assume natin na all those people are may masamang balak, even we could even ask the President to...
I'm not assuming anything. Don't put words into my mouth. I did not assume
That's why,
anything.
Your Honor, if I may po, that's why po I emphasize that we separate those legal gun owners who conform to RA 105.9 one, and those illegal gun owners or illegal manufacturers, illegally possessed firearms, should be separate. Because what we want, why we support these amendments is because aside from the industry that it supports and the economic impact that it has, it also alleviates the problems that gun owners have been experiencing for the past how many years? Because this bill was passed 2014, and we have had IRRs that have overreached already, and that's why we're correcting it now, and that's why we support po yung amendments po.
Could you please give me an example where an IRR provision has overreached?
So, a perfect example, Your Honor, in your law, RA 10591, I'll give you an example po na ngayon po. It's sort of an issue sa industry. We have a provision in RA 10591 that allows every gun owner to own 7.62 by 39 and below. As of now, only 223s are being licensed. 7.62s haven't been allowed for the longest time because there was a restriction set by the previous administration na bawal nga po ang mga calibers na to. But in your law, it is stipulated that it is allowed. But in your IRR, I think they... Yeah, pinagbawalan na po siya. But I think, Your Honor, 223s pinapayagan na po ngayon, but the rest of the calibers until now hindi pa rin po.
PNP, would that be true?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
May know the basis of the PNP. Why you are not following the law?
The regulatory function of the PNP, sir.
Can a regulatory function or provision of the PNP rise over and above the law? Following your logic. It's a provision of law according to Mr. Topacio, and you agreed to it. Why are you not following the law?
But, sir, going back to the provision on licensing firearm, that this may be licensed to qualified individual, sir. And at times, sir, yun nga po.
If, Colonel Dilag, if it is expressly provided by law and your IRR doesn't say so, says otherwise, I think that's ultra vires. And the good lawyers would agree with me. Di ba?
Yes, sir.
Bakit hindi nyo sundin yung batas? Are you trying to tell us that you are defying the intent of the framers of that law? Wala na, Mr. Chair. Marami pong salamat sa opportunity.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And that's the reason why we wanted to have a technical working group. Medyo masyadong masalimotong istorya ang ating pinapasok. But of course, we have seen the different positions of the different government and private sector. And this representation believes that we need to create a technical working group on this purpose. So I need to have a
Mr. Chair.
motion.
Mr. Chair.
Congressman Bosita, please.
Mr. Chair, after our lengthy discussions, no, parang isa lang nakita ko na the best na i-handle itong technical working group.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, may I move to create a technical working group for these measures?
So there is a motion to create a technical working group. Any second the motion?
Second, Mr.
It's
Chair.
duly seconded. So the motion is now approved. Second,
To be
who's
headed-
gonna head of the technical working group?
To be
Yes, sir.
headed by Honorable Vice Chairman, Attorney General Representative
So,
Romeo
wait,
Macosi.
there's a motion, but we need to find out the availability of Chairman Acop if he will going to accept the chairmanship of the technical working group or not. So, Congressman Acop,
I
please
do not
reply.
know if the Honorable Bosita is mad at me. Simply because he's giving me more work.
And there's a lot of balancing that the good chairman have to do on this this issue, no, on the three House bills that you're going to discuss. But I think it is imperative for the chairman of transportation to be a part, no, of this technical working group as a chairman. So I believe so that we need a man like Chairman Acop to head the technical working group. And naniniwala naman ako na magiging fair, no, si Chairman Acop. So there's a motion that Chairman Acop be the head of the technical working group that was created by this committee. Any second the motion?
Second, Mr. Chair.
This was duly seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the said motion is now approved. All right. So the members of the technical working group will be Senator Bosita, you will be a member as well. Congressman Plato, Congressman Arrogancia, Congressman Dago will be a part of it as well. And also Congressman Tebes, who attended this hearing. And eventually, pag nagdi-discuss na po kayo, meron na kayong knowledge about it. So, no objection. So, the members that was mentioned by this chair will be a part of the technical working group. All right. So, since we have already created the technical working group, all those position papers that we were asking a while ago must be submitted to us in a week's time. So sana po mapadala nyo na po agad, considering the importance of these bills. Okay, so other matters that the body wishes to discuss. Wala na po ba ibang bagay na i-discuss po tayo? So there being no other matter to discuss, do I hear the favorite motion? Motion.
Mr. Chair, I move for the suspension.
No, adjourn.
Adjournment.
So, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second. Adjourn, Mr. Chair.
So, there's a motion by Congressman Plato to adjourn this hearing. Any second motion? Duly seconded. Okay, Congressman Arrogancia, please. May second motion. Okay, kala ko nag-object ka eh. So, second motion, so no objection. This committee hearing is now adjourned. Thank you so much, everybody.